I'm getting so tired. I'm getting so.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look here. They're talking on the phone, Carolyn and Lil D. They are enjoying themselves, right? You know, the phone calls are just 30 minutes. They're enjoying themselves. She cannot believe that she's this happy under these circumstances because she always had this idea of what type of relationship she wanted to be in, the type of person she wanted to be with, and all of that kind of stuff. And none of that is matching up to what's really going on right now. And she believes that it can't be but God. It can't be but God. You know, so when they finish the conversation and are about to hang up, he tells her, he says, you know, from the first letter that I got from you, I knew that I wanted to be with you. He tells her this. And she's silent, she's listening, you know. And he says, I don't want to be premature in what I'm trying to say, but I think I love you. And she tells him, don't say that if you don't mean that, because that's serious to me. And he said, well, I feel some kind of way when I'm not with you. I want to be with you. When we're at visit, I'm happy. I feel relieved. When I think about you, I smile all the time. I want to write you all the time. I want to do all of those types of things. I want to be with you in every way. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And she's silent the whole time. And she's listening to everything that he's saying. She's analyzing, she's breaking it down because she don't want to say it. She don't want to say it because she's not there yet, but she knows she's real close. And she wants to be sure. You got to think about it. She's been thinking about this moment her whole life for somebody that wants to be with her in this way, to say these types of things. You know, it's almost like a dream come true, but it doesn't match the picture that she had for her life. He's in prison. He's in prison. And he's going to be there for a while. But she tells him, she says, don't say that. Not now. And he said, I understand. He said, but I know you feel the same way. And she started laughing and said, you don't know me. You don't know me. But she said it in a nice way, a joking way. And he said, I'm getting to know you. So I can tell. I can tell. And she said, well, I got to get ready to go. The phone's finna hang up. And they say their goodbyes and they hang up. And she sits there, you know what I'm saying, on the bed, thinking that, you know, what is really going on? What is he doing to me? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way about somebody that's locked up? She can't explain it. He goes back to the cell. He's got a smile on his face. Now, his cellar is watching. His cellar is watching. His cellar think he's soft because he's falling in love. For real. His cellar sees an opportunity. And he ain't going to be able to exploit this opportunity as long as this dude is in love with her. Because Lil D feeling it. So he tells me, he said, man, I just got off the phone with your gal. He was like, yeah. He said, what y'all talking about? He's like, nah, just not too much. So I told her I think I love her. His celly laughed at him. Tell him, he said, man, you moving too fast. I know I told you to move fast, but what did she say? He said, man, she said, don't say that. Don't say that unless I mean it. He said, she's serious about you. She don't want to say it, but when she say it, you're going to have her. And she going to do anything that you want her to do. Period. So, another week goes by. It's time for them to go to visit. Now, his parents come back to visit this particular time, right? So all of them are up there. You know, Carolyn's up there, his parents are up there, and everybody's talking and laughing and all this and that, right? And they start to notice, especially his mother. She notices how Carolyn and Lil D are looking at each other when they talk. And she said, what is going on with you two? Jokingly. She said, is it anything that y'all want to tell us? And Lil D looked at us like, nah, ain't nothing, all embarrassed, Ain't nothing we got to say. Why you all in our business, mama? She said, you ain't got no business, boy. You ain't got no business. So Carolyn, she's sitting over there laughing the whole time. And she's holding his hand, too, on top of the table. They'll let you do that sometimes, And she was like, I just like being around it. She's like, uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Don't let me find out. And Carolyn said, don't let you find out what? Don't let me find out you done came up here and fell in love with this jailbird. Jokingly. Now, jokingly. Because, that's how they joke. She said, ain't nothing wrong with a jailbird as long as he straighten up and fly right. So they all laughed and joked about that. And they continued to have a good visit. And then after the visit was over, they hugged. And this time, because it ain't supposed to be no kissing. She slipped up the last time. This time, it was like an automatic thing. But they didn't kiss in a prolonged way. It was just a quick kiss on the lips. And they were done. And his mother commented again. She said, uh-huh. You wasn't doing that last time. Something's happened. She hugged him. And she told him, she said, you better do right by her. She said it so that Carolyn could hear her. And he said, Mama, I am. I'm not going to do anything that I ain't got no business doing. I promise you that. And his daddy has echoed the same thing as Mama said. He said, boy, don't play. Don't play with a woman's heart. He said, I'm not playing. So they all exited the visit. And when he gets back to the cell, he feels guilty about what he's done. How he's come up with her and all this and that, right? And he's telling his cellie he don't really like how this is playing out. He don't really like where this is going. Right? And they got to keep in mind now, he wanted, to be in a relationship with somebody, and he was desperate for that, and his cellie saw that, and his cellie manipulated that, but now he feels like he needs to tell her the truth. He needs to come clean about everything. From the first letter that he wrote her when he was talking about, God ordained this, and this is fate, and all this and that, right? He wants to tell her all that, and his cellie tells him, he said, if you tell her that, she's gone. He said, I promise you that. If you tell her that, she is going to leave you. And that's the end of it. It's going to be the end of it. So he said, well, that's a chance I got to take because I got to be honest with her because I really do care about her and I love her. Now, you got to keep in mind, they have not been seeing each other that long. He was moving fast, and he was moving fast in a crooked way, but he fell into his own trap. And he's really feeling her. Carolyn is a good girl, man. Good girl. So he calls her on the phone. He didn't want to do it in person because in case she did feel some kind of way, it was going to give her the opportunity to not come back. So he tells her the truth over the phone. That it was all game, and she asks, why did you, and all of this kind of stuff, right? And he tells her, it's the truth, but it sounds like an excuse. He says, my cellie. And she says, no, it was you. Your cellie could have suggested, but you chose to do it. You did this, you did that. And at this point, she's yelling at him. She's screaming at him. She's crying. It's almost like her heart has been ripped out. And she says, I can't do this. I won't. And she hung up the phone. Shattered him. Crushed him. He didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to think. He picked up the phone and he called his mom and he's talking to his mom and he tells his mom what just happened and he's crying on the phone. And she said, boy, why did you do that? And he said, I had to tell her the truth. She said, that's not what I'm talking about. Why did you listen to that person that told you to lie to her and play with God with her? And he said, I don't know, Mom. He said, you better make it right. He said, I don't know what to do. She said, you write her and you tell her how sorry you are. And you keep doing that until she tells you to stop writing her. You keep writing her every day. So that's what he did. He wrote Carolyn every day, apologizing, telling her how sorry he was, how much he missed her. 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months go by. Then he gets a letter. And she tells him, don't write her again. And if he writes her again, she's going to tell the warden. And she told him at the same time, removing myself from your visitation list. Crushed him. Broke him in two. Sent him spiraling out of control. Now, him and his celly get to fighting. He blames his celly for everything that happened. So they get to fighting. His celly whoop him. You understand? Because the old head don't mean he ain't got them hands. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the young guys out there better remember that. You know what I'm saying? While you're stepping all, trying to be all boisterous and think you can run something. You know what I'm saying? You got to have them old school skills. You understand what I'm talking about? So he whoop him. He go to the hole. They lock him up. He get out of the hole. They put him in another cell with somebody else. He broke now. I'm talking about spiritually. He's broke. Mentally, he's broke. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all about surviving this environment. He twisted all up in knots, right? Twisted all up in knots. Going on his second year in. Mean, mad, don't care nothing about nobody. His new celly tell him, man, I got somebody you can talk to. He said, she with it though. And if you ain't with it, she ain't gonna dig it. He said, man, I'm with whatever she wanna be with, man. I don't care nothing about no female no more. You know what I'm saying? At that point, he closed his heart off, tied it up in a knot, put it up, locked it up. Can't nobody get to him. Ain't no love no more. Now he talking to this gal that his new seller done put him in the car with. She down with whatever he want to be down with. Everything goes. Anything goes. You feel what I'm saying? She bringing in that pack. I'm talking about on the first visit. She with it. She said, this for you, daddy. All of that. You know what I'm saying? They sneaking into the restroom, doing all sorts of things. You understand what I'm saying? This whatever he want to do is cool. So he starts to lose himself into believing that this is what it's supposed to be like. This is what me and Carolyn was supposed to be doing. You understand what I'm saying? This new girl that he's with, he ain't been with her a hot month, and she already saying that she love him, calling him daddy, and all this and that, and he breaking it off. He getting that money, sending the money home to her. You feel what I'm saying? She taking money to his parents. His parents don't know what's going on. They just putting it up for him, but they knowing something ain't right here. How is he making this kind of money? But they just putting it away for him. When he calls them, he's real evasive. He don't stay on the phone long. He just really calls to check to see, make sure the money got there and all this and that. But he ain't really asking how they're doing. He's not that person anymore. He's jaded. All the way crooked. You understand? Now all he care about is what goes on in this prison experience and who can be the hardest dude. Because he's trying to be the hardest dude. He wants to be the one that everybody looks to. You feel what I'm saying? He don't want to open up no more. He ain't showing no sides of that. And he won't accept responsibility that it's all on him. He always talks about his old celly when he get high. Now, because he's smoking too. Smoking that green. Him and his celly in there, they talking and going back and forth. But he don't dare try his old celly no more. Because his old celly put them hands on it. Flipped him up in that thing. So he don't really want to go there. So he starts to plot, plan, and strategize. Yeah, all of that. All of that. So when he lays down the plan, you see, he's not affiliated though, y'all. So he got to make his moves by paying somebody to get somebody to do it and all this and that, right? So he pay off a couple of gang members. Tell them they flip him. Flip him. That's it. I want y'all to beat him up real good and let him know I did it. Heh. Yeah, right. They go put in work, right? Just enough to satisfy the understanding that they had. Because he got that bag. And they let him know, man, Lil D sent us, man. Stand down. You feel me? Or it's going to be more of this. Lil D didn't know he was messing with a real killer. He didn't even know. And when you go pushing on somebody like that, you can't play no games, man. You can't play no game. Because they ain't accepting no nothing. Put your hands on me? And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm not supposed to be scared of you? I'm in the penitentiary. I'm going to be scared of you for. You're not anybody to be scared of. Because you won't even put in your own work, homie. You send somebody else. So his old celly started plotting, planning, and strategizing for his lick back. But see, check this out. See, even when you're trying to get your lick back, You always got to be thinking about, how can I benefit from this long term? You feel what I'm saying? Long term. Look here. His old seller ain't just trying to put hands on him. His old seller's trying to put his hands in his pocket. Talk to me, y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying? He want to put his hands in his pocket. Yeah, he got that bag. Whooping him for what? Tit for tat, back and forth. Ain't nobody doing that. Put his hand in his pocket and get something from him every time he brings something in, or he can't bring it in no more. He either going to pay him or he going to pay the affiliations. One of the two. He going to come out cheaper paying his old seller. So his old seller make his move. He catch him, call him off all by himself, put hands on him, and then he grab him by his collar and slap him. Hey. So let me tell you something, boy. This is what it's going to be. You're going to break me off every time you get some, or I'm going to send them bandits up in the cell. That's what I'm going to do. And if you ain't ready for that, then go pay them. But every time you send them at me, I'm coming to see you. I'm not going to see them. I'm coming to see you. And I know you ain't cut like that. You ain't trying to get no blood on your hands, fool. You ain't built like that. And then his old seller hit him like he said, I knew you wasn't built like that when you let old girl get away. Oh, look here. That made something rile up in him. You know what I'm saying? He get all mad and try to, you know what I'm saying, get up and fight back, right? Got knocked down again. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing, man. Sit down, man, and accept the terms of this understanding, this arrangement. And that's what it is. And he agreed to it. He agreed to it. He gonna break his old sell off a quarter every time he come in. Wait a minute. If you gotta pay the bill a quarter and then your old seller a quarter, you ain't got nothing but a half. Oh, no. But that's what it is, though. That's what it is. So everything is worked out on that level. He accepts the fact that he's not that dude, but he pretends to be that dude. He don't want everybody to know that he's paying his way now. He don't want everybody to know that. But that's what it is. So he has to continue to flodge, fake. You understand? So now he's into going on his third year. He's into going on his third year in. And everything is looking okay for him. You know? He's about to take the GED test. About to do all of that. He thinks he's going to pass it because he's been studying. He's still getting his money on the side. He's still going to visit. You know what I'm saying? Still knocking gal down when he get the opportunity. All of this kind of stuff to twist your mind up. He think he's straight. He think he's straight. Right? A couple of more months go by. He take the GED test. He comes close, but he don't pass. He's encouraged. The teacher keep telling him, you're going to do better the next time. Just stay with it. He tells her he going to stay with it. Everything is good. Time moving on. 4th year. 5th year. 6th year. He finally passes, gets his GED. Finally passes. And he starts to feel pride. Starts to feel good about it. And he starts to think about what he's going to do next. So he goes up for parole in about a year and a half. So he's got to think about leaving, what it's going to be like when he gets out. And see, now him and the girl that he's with, she's starting to demand more because she thinks that he's finna get out and she's invested all this time and money in him. She wants something for it. And he tells her, real hard, like, look, I don't know what it's going to be when I get out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be with me, we'll see. But I ain't committing to nobody. See, and all of that comes from, that's residual pain from when he was with Carolyn and played games. And now his heart is closed off to anybody. And besides, you know, this wasn't nothing but an arrangement to him, money and sex. You feel what I'm saying? So now he's making it plain to her. She don't want to hear that, though, because she been invested. She wasn't in penitentiary thoughts. She been investing in him. She wants something for this, man. You feel me? But he ain't willing to give it. So she tell him, if you ain't willing to commit, then it ain't nothing no more. And it crushes him. It crushes him. And if you want to know how this plays, you're going to have to tune into the next episode, right? This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. And I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting so tired.